From 10 Tampa Bay, this is a weather impact alert.
And folks, our next weather maker has arrived. Take a look at your screens. We are under a weather impact and traffic impact alert this morning as heavy rain continues to push through the Bay Area.
Wet roads are going to impact your morning commute. They already are.
Yeah, you're watching 10 Tampa Bay News this morning. Sarah Rosario tracking your morning drive times for you.
Yeah, but we're going to start with that weather impact alert out on our roadways this morning and across your lawns too. Meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi tracking the timing of those showers. We need the rain in the area, just not meshing well with the morning commute.
Right. The timing a little inconvenient, but we need it. So, it's hard to complain. And this is the front that's going to give us that last little bit of cold air before we can finally have some light at the end of the tunnel and some warmer weather. So we just got to get through this. Honestly, let's just get it out of the way, and then we can sail into some 70s. Here's a look at satellite and radar. Yes, that front bringing rain widespread for the early morning commute. So if you're about to head out the door, got to give yourself a few extra minutes. And of course, grab the raincoat. Here's a look at where it's raining the heaviest right now. We do see some pockets of heavier rain moving through parts of Hillsborough County. Brandon, Fishhawk, heads up to you. Plant City, some heavy rain just moved in your way. Starting to dry out, though, in Tarpon Springs and Newport Richey. So you're done with the rain for this morning, but do know the roads are wet up there. 275 all along the Sunshine Skyway. Now some light rain, but look at this heavy rain moving through Bayshore Gardens, Bradenton, about to move over 75 throughout Manatee County. Heads up in Foxley Parish, Manhattan, Waterbury. This is moving your way. That is some pretty heavy rain. No thunderstorms, but definitely rain that will reduce visibility. Here's a live look outside. You can see all of our cameras soggy this morning. 60 in Tampa, 59 in St. Pete, 57 in Clearwater. We'll hold on to that weather impact alert through 9 o'clock. This front will continue to sink south of I-4 over the next couple of hours. But yes, the roadways are going to be wet. What I want you to notice, though, is this as well. Upper 50s right now will drop into the low to mid 50s through the afternoon, and it is going to be breezy. Look at that west-northwest wind sustained 10 to 20. We're looking at gusts 25 to 30. So while you'll need the rain gear this morning, make sure to pack that coat with you. You are going to need it this afternoon. You'll definitely need it tomorrow morning as well. More details on the hour-by-hour timing of the rain, and we'll talk about when that warmer weather finally will return and settle into the forecast. The details in a few minutes. But now it's time to get a check of the roads. Sarah Rosario got you covered with traffic and a traffic impact alert this morning.
Yeah, right now as we get you out the door, we are tracking some delays here along portions of I-75 and I-175 and I-275 for drivers through St. Petersburg. Good morning to you. We do have a crash investigation underway. You can't see it through the camera here, but you will start to see slow-moving speeds along 275 for drivers through Pinellas. Also looking at long portions of I-75 as well. This is not far from I-4. Got the flashing lights here. It's raining. Wet conditions along our roadways. We're starting to see more crashes popping up. So heads up and prepare for some possible slowdowns and a lot of volume as you're driving, especially along these most traveled roadways. Again, give yourself some extra time there. Here's where people are tapping on their brakes through I-4 as you're approaching I-275 this morning. Once you're getting past that crash not far from McIntosh Road, you will be able to move a little bit, but then you're going to be tied down a little bit once you're getting towards that connector. And here's a look at the slick conditions again. Reminder to increase your following distance and to slow down this morning, Jameson.
All right, Sarah, going to check back with you shortly. New overnight out of Lake Wales. State Road 60 is back open this morning, and 7 people are recovering from serious injuries after a multi-vehicle crash left 4 people dead in Polk County. This morning, State Road 60 East near Capps Road is back open, so no impact to drivers. Here's what we know, though. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd says it was right around 4 p.m. on Wednesday when one vehicle crossed the median into oncoming traffic. 5 vehicles were involved in this crash. We just checked this morning. The investigation is still being completed. As we learn more, we will bring it to you right here on 10 Tampa Bay News.
We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again.
This morning, a desperate plea from Today Show host Savannah Guthrie and her family as the search for her 84-year-old mother enters day 5.
Yeah, it's really heartbreaking. The family urging her alleged abductor to come forward, saying they need evidence that she's alive. And while you were sleeping, the FBI is sending additional personnel to Arizona to help with this investigation.
We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk.
Now, keep in mind, right now, that letter is not verified as real. Authorities believe the 84-year-old was taken from her Tucson area home against her will late Saturday night. Savannah Guthrie shared their deep love for their mom.
The FBI is analyzing the apparent ransom note that was sent to multiple media outlets. containing specific details about Nancy Guthrie's home and what she was wearing the night of the abduction. Right now, no suspect or person of interest in this case has been publicly identified.
We are continuing to follow this major investigation for you with the latest updates, and we'll bring those to you on air and online at 10tampabaynews.com and streaming around the clock on our 10 Tampa Bay News app.
6:03 and a live look at Tampa International Airport this morning, where just in a couple of hours, officials will show off the final design for TPA's first new airside in nearly 20 years.
Yeah, I'll call him out there right now. 10 Tampa Bay News reporter Nick Valturo is live in Tampa. It's never calm where he is, though, right? He's out there this morning talking about what passengers can expect when the new terminal is unveiled out there. Nick, you're right with Phoebe right now.
Yeah, Caitlin Jamison, good morning. And Phoebe might be getting some more company down the road here. We're over at TPA, and in a few years, this airport could look a whole lot bigger. Because today, airport officials are going to show off the full design for Airside D. And they talk about this being able to increase airport capacity by 10 million passengers by the year 2037.
All right, Nick, thank you. Looking ahead today, big decisions could be coming in St. Pete. In just hours, the city council is meeting to decide the future of the historic gas plant district. This morning, council member Brandy Gabbard says she'll push a planning-first approach, but Mayor Ken Welch is urging the council to take action there at the Tropicana Field site instead of entering another planning phase, warning delays could repeat a, quote, familiar and painful pattern and stall jobs, housing, and economic opportunities. Proposals on the table there at the Tropicana Field site include affordable housing and the new Woodson African American Museum of Florida, projects that could finally move forward if the council gives the green light. 10 Tampa Bay News will have a crew there in council chambers and bringing the latest developments both on air and on our free 10 Tampa Bay News app.
And on the other side of the bay this morning, plans are moving forward with a new Rays Stadium at Hillsborough College in Tampa. This morning, talks are headed to the negotiation phase here. Leaders, they're at odds over how to pay for it. That's going to be the ongoing conversation. Right now, the Rays estimate the cost of the stadium about $2.3 billion. The ownership group is committing to pay at least 50% of it, but public funding is going to be needed for this deal. And this morning, the community investment tax is at the center of the debate. The half-cent sales tax, it's approved for projects with infrastructure, public safety, and schools, but some commissioners say funding a stadium goes against what taxpayers voted for.
All right, after record-breaking cold last week, Florida's coastlines are now seeing cold-stunned sea turtles wash ashore.
Yeah, everybody's cold-stunned in these temperatures. We're going to show you how rescuers are rushing to save hundreds across our state right now.
And we have another cold front this morning. A weather impact alert as this front brings widespread showers across the Bay Area for the morning commute. I'll time this out hour by hour for you and talk about the cool, breezy day that follows. Those details in just a few minutes.
And good morning. We are under a traffic impact alert as we are tracking wet conditions on our roadways impacting the morning drive. Crashes are popping up over several places across Tampa Bay. Drive times are increasing. We'll get another look at traffic in a little bit.
Watch 10 Tampa Bay this morning, weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
Businesses invite you into their store to spend money so they can make a profit. This means that under the law, they have a duty to maintain a safe premises.
Whether it's a leak on the floor, bad lighting, an item falling off a shelf, or if you're attacked on the premises, it doesn't matter.
Stores have a legal duty to keep you safe on their property.
Our responsibility at Farah & Farah is to protect you when they don't.
Oh, their sweet little faces. They
So
look so
confused.
I want to see them warming them up. Do they like
Right.
bundle them up in a little blanket?
Yeah,
I'm imagining-
Swaddle the turtle?
Yeah, and I imagine they're probably just in there like, you don't need to ever put me back in the water.
right?
This is good for me.
Great.
Just
nice.
keep massaging my arms
Little
and we're
turtle
good.
spa. Yeah, we're
Turtle
at the,
spa.
we're at the aquarium. If they need volunteers, I'll gladly come hug turtles. And
I know.
just
So
hold them in
cute.
blankets. But finally, we're all going to warm up all of our wonderful sea creatures.
Yes.
I'm sure the manatees will be happy to
Everybody.
maybe get some
Eventually.
warmer weather, and
Yeah.
hopefully that'll warm up some of the shallower water. But We have to get through today and tomorrow, of course, because our cold front is actively moving in. This is the reason for our weather impact alert. It is bringing rain for the morning commute, and then this is what's naturally going to bring us the cooler day today and the cold morning tomorrow before we can finally go up temperature-wise. Let's get you out the door, though, because we do have some rain falling for the morning commute, and it looks like most of that rain is now shifting southeast of Tampa. Zooming in here, you can see across Tampa, even into Pinellas County, all the way up the Nature Coast. You are now dry, so you're done with the rain. However, roads are still going to be slick, so give yourself a few extra minutes. Where we're seeing most of the rainfall is in eastern Hillsborough County, Brandon, Fishhawk through Lakeland. Notice all along I-4 through Polk into Hillsborough County. Bartow, Fort Meade, Lake Wales, Frostproof getting in on that light to steady rain. Our Bay Area bridges now starting to dry out with the exception of the Sunshine Skyway. It is still a little wet there. The heaviest rain is down in Manatee County right now. Bradenton getting a break, but moving into Lakewood Ranch all along 64 just south of Parrish. Duet, some light rain. Sarasota getting in on some steady rain as well. I put a tracker on this because this is the heaviest rain. Moving off to the southeast at around 30 miles per hour. So Vamo around 617, Waterbury around 625, Duet around 636, and then it looks like Mayaca City around 648. That's when some of the pockets of heavier rain could move into your area. Let's take you through the rest of the morning. Right now, we're in the mid to upper 50s, but notice by 8 o'clock, temperatures dropping into the low 50s. So as most of you are heading out the door, we're drying out along the 75 corridor with rain continuing throughout Polk, Highlands, Hardy County, starting to dry out in Manatee and Sarasota County, but it is going to be chilly and the wind will be picking up. So make sure you step out the door with the coat this morning. And if you're out in the next few minutes, the umbrella as well. By around 10 o'clock, we're really just looking down towards Highlands and Hardy County, maybe eastern Polk County. All of us are dry at this point and temperatures still chilly in the low to mid 50s. And that's where we'll stay through the day. Low to mid 50s at best. We will see more sunshine this afternoon, but again, the wind is going to be picking up, so it is going to feel a little colder. Let's take you through the wind because once we get rid of the rain, this is going to be a huge part of our weather story today. Around 8:30, we're looking at gusts widespread about 10 to 20, but then through the afternoon and for that evening commute, here's a look at 5 o'clock, widespread gusts 25 to 30. So especially if you drive over our bridges later today, both hands on the steering wheel because it is going to be quite breezy. The wind will die down overnight, but we'll have just enough to add a little extra chill in the air tomorrow morning, which we won't need because it will be a cold start. 40s along the coast, 30s inland, maybe even some freezing temperatures up along the Nature Coast. In fact, there is already a freeze warning for inland Citrus County tomorrow. Now, we do have the fair in town, and of course, it is the Florida State Fair. This graphic is what I was working on before we came into this, but it'll be a nice day tomorrow, even nicer for the weekend for the fair. 50s Saturday morning with highs in the 60s. Pretty cold start to Sunday morning in the 40s with highs near 70 degrees. So the weekend looks fantastic. If you have any plans, whether it's to head to the fair or, of course, if you have any Super Bowl parties on Sunday, big game on Sunday, forecast looks good for it. A little on the cool side throughout the evening. We'll be in the upper 60s at 5, and then we'll drop into the 50s through the late evening. So if you're heading out to any events with your friends, then just know you'll probably want to bring a light jacket with you to those. High temperatures after the weekend, once we hit 70, look at this. That's where we stay all the way through next week. We might have another front late next weekend, and that could drop our temperatures just a touch. But once we get through that chilly morning and chilly day tomorrow, we are just only up from there temperature-wise, which I am so excited about. I'm sure all of you at home are as well. Small craft advisory will start at 8 o'clock. We just wanted to give you that heads up. Rough waters on the bay, seas 4 to 8 feet. That small craft advisory will continue through tomorrow morning, by the way. Rain this morning with dropping temperatures. Cold morning tomorrow with a chilly Friday with tons of sunshine. Warming up through the weekend. Highs back in the 70s Sunday. We'll stay in the low to mid 70s through next week. All right, now it's time for a check of the roadways. Sarah Rosario's got you covered, tracking a traffic impact alert this morning.
Yes, a traffic impact alert for our drivers off I-175 and 275 and all over the Tampa Bay area. You're seeing some people tapping on their brakes right now, and that's what you're going to see a lot of this morning as you're getting out and about. Even if you're not traveling along one of these most traveled roadways, even in the areas where it's poorly lit, a reason for you to be extra careful, even more careful because it's dark and it is wet out there. So this is what we're seeing right now for drivers through Pinellas County. We're also going to be giving you a look here along some of the slowdowns that we're seeing along I-75. This is near I-4. This crash investigation and these slow-moving speeds here as drivers are getting past US 301 this morning. Heads up about that. And we're looking at this. If you're going to be driving along I-4 near I-275, you can see a lot of people are in that stalled pattern, a lot of congestion through this area of Tampa Bay. And here's what it's looking like along 275. So you got the slick conditions along roadways, and then we've got our road weather hazards. It's showing we've got some delays here as you're going to be getting by Plant City for our drivers headed from Polk County to Hillsborough County this morning. And all the green you're seeing, those are the wet conditions along our roadways right now. That includes drivers through US 19, Hudson. Good morning as you're headed through Hernando County, Pasco County off of I-75. Good news is that the Sunshine Skyway Bridge not really showing us a big delay or anything like that for drivers through St. Petersburg, as those wet conditions do blanket the roadway there. And here I leave you with this crash that we are following here for you along 75 southbound. Good morning, Sarasota. This is near University Parkway as we're seeing delays starting to build there.
Right now, investigators say they stopped a disturbing plot before it turned deadly.
Yeah, what local deputies found and the warning signs for parents just ahead.
10 Tampa Bay Traffic is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
The 10 Tampa Bay Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Do have a dense fog advisory now through 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news.
New video just coming into our newsroom.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 10 Tampa Bay Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Time now 6:23, and as families across Tampa Bay are still recovering from our back-to-back hurricanes more than a year ago, disaster recovery across our region is getting a boost. Senator Ashley Moody says nearly $500 million in FEMA funds. They're headed to Florida communities to repair storm damage and critical infrastructure. All counties in the Tampa Bay area are going to see funding for projects, including emergency power restoration, sheltering, and repairs to schools and city facilities. Moody says the money is part of FEMA's public assistance program, and it's going to support hundreds of recovery projects.
Right now, a 14-year-old Waimama boy is behind bars after investigators uncovered a disturbing plot to carry out a mass shooting at a local church, but it gets worse. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office says the teen was also active in a neo-Nazi extremist chat room and was found in possession of firearms and graphic child pornography. He now faces multiple felony charges, including written threats to conduct an act of terrorism.
Well, this morning we are learning more about a deadly crash that happened on MacDill Air Force Base. Military officials are confirming to us that a retired Army sergeant was hit and killed around 10 o'clock on Tuesday night. We're told the driver did stay at the scene. This is the second deadly crash in less than a year involving a pedestrian on the base. Last year, a Marine was killed. MacDill has not released the retired Army sergeant's identity.
Lake Alfred city leaders approved the purchase of a 2025 Tesla Cybertruck for just over $131,000 for its fire department. Officials saying it's a cost-effective, multi-purpose alternative to a traditional brush truck that can cost nearly $300,000. Fire officials say the electric truck will fight brush fires, support rescues, and power equipment during emergencies, while critics question the price and the performance of the unproven technology.
All right. Listen up, shoppers. This story has my attention. This morning, big changes are coming to Tampa's most popular mall.
Yeah, I guess shopping malls aren't dead. We're going to show you what the new plans could mean for your weekend shopping. Plus, we're under a weather and traffic impact alert for your morning commute. Turn the wipers on. Grab the rain jacket. The rain is moving through Tampa Bay right now. Courtney Jacobazzi is tracking the timing for your drive to work and school.
From 10 Tampa Bay, this is a weather impact alert.
Starting you off with a wet start, both a traffic and weather impact alert on this Thursday morning with rain moving across the area. You can see it on the radar there. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay News this morning. I'm Caitlin Lockerbay.
And good morning. I'm Jamison Euler. Turn the wipers on, maybe even the low beams this morning. Let's get right over to meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi, tracking the timing of these showers this morning. Courtney?
That's right. Yeah, this is going to encompass most of the morning commute, especially for those of you south of I-4. Here's a look at current satellite and radar. That front moving in. This is the front that's going to give us that last little tug of cool air before we can finally warm back up. But in the meantime, of course, impacting the commute. The good news is all along the Nature Coast, even from Tampa up into Citrus County, we're drying out. Pinellas County, you are now dry, but the roads are still slick from the morning rain. So give yourself that extra time. We still have some steady rain falling in Brandon, moving into Fishhawk this morning, all throughout Polk County, covered in rain from Lakeland over into Lake Wales and frost-proof Fort Meade. It looks like some steady rain headed your way. Same down in Bowling Green this morning. The heaviest showers are currently through Manatee County, moving out of Bradenton, finally giving a little bit of a break to I-75, but heavy rain smack dab in the middle of Manatee heading into Duet and Wauchula this morning. Sarasota, it looks like just some light rain now for you, but Sarasota County, you also have some pretty heavy downpours if you're about to head out the door. A live look outside, looks pretty damp outside, but of course the rain now over across the Bay Area. And we'll hold on to that weather impact alert through 9 because rain will continue, especially south of I-4 through that morning commute. But look at this. Temperatures in the upper 50s right now. They are going to drop through the day. Most of the day will be spent in the low to mid 50s. So while you'll need the rain gear this morning, make sure you have the coat or the thicker jacket with you through the day today because it is going to be chilly and breezy with that wind really picking up. Look at that west-northwest wind sustained between about 15 to 20 gusts, even higher than that. We'll take you through hour by hour what to expect with that rain, and we'll talk about that cool down even into tomorrow morning. The full details in just a few minutes. But now it's time to get a check of the roadways. Sarah Rosario tracking a traffic impact alert for you this morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. We did have a crash here off of I-275, not far from 5th Avenue. It appears that it has been able to clear quickly, but this is just one of several things that we are tracking as we get you out the door on this Thursday morning. It's a wet start to your ride here at 6:30. Here's where we're seeing a separate crash. This is along I-75, not far from I-4. We've got slow-moving speeds for drivers headed along 75 southbound where that crash is, and we do expect that to continue. Also starting to see some delays and more congestion along portions of I-4 just as you're approaching McIntosh Road this morning, so prepare for that as well. I-4 near 275 has a lot of stop-and-go traffic. Lots of people tapping on their brakes right now, and that will be continuing through that rush hour time frame. We're also going to be keeping our eyes on the area of 275 as you're going to be headed up from Pasco County into Hillsborough County. Got a lot of people making that route as well in these conditions. So prepare for that. Increase your following distance. Obviously use those windshield wipers and take your time as you're headed out the door this morning. Caitlin.
All right. Thanks, Sarah. This morning, hundreds of federal agents are going to start to pull out of Minnesota. The move is coming a week after border czar Tom Homan took over ICE operations from Border Commander Greg Bovino. Christina Mendez is at our 10 Tampa Bay News live desk right now with the next steps happening today.
Caitlin, Homan says that county jails in Minnesota are now cooperating with immigration officials. 700 federal agents will actually leave the state, but still around 2,000 will remain. Homan says any further cutbacks depend on cooperation from local leaders and the community. He calls the operation a success despite legal challenges and 2 fatal shootings of U.S. citizens by federal agents. Jameson.
Hey, by the way, we've shown you videos all week long of frozen iguanas, and now we have new numbers in, stunning numbers from FWC.
Yeah, they are not dead there, but I guess they are now, right?
Yeah,
they've gone on to
the Rainbow Bridge.
The Rainbow Bridge for iguanas. We're going to show you how many frozen reptiles were collected in the state of Florida during this week's cold snap.
You know, I liked your pun there, Jameson. You said stunning when they are stunned. Get it? All right, let's talk about this morning. Some rain out the door this morning. Our weather impact alert because your commute impacted by those wet roadways. I'll time out the rain hour by hour for you and talk about a chilly and breezy day ahead. The details in a few minutes.
And it's a wet start to our morning drive. Good morning. We're looking at a lot of green, and those are wet conditions according to our road weather hazards maps. Here's what it's looking like right now. And be mindful because we got some slowdowns and a couple crashes popping up. We'll get a closer look in moments.
Celebrating Black History Month, we are spotlighting moments from our past that help shape our present. After the Civil War, Black soldiers were officially recognized as Army regulars. Their units were segregated and they often faced hostility, but in honor of their spirit and strength, Native Americans called them Buffalo Soldiers. 2 of those units were stationed in the Tampa Heights neighborhood during the Spanish-American War. Their presence here fostered pride within the local Black community, but they were also targeted by the other units made up of white troops. Despite this, the Buffalo Soldiers earned 5 medals of honor for their valor during battles in Cuba and the Philippines.
10 Tampa Bay is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
10 Tampa Bay Plus, streaming live local weather 24/7. Check the radar whenever you want. Catch detailed weather updates all day long. Watch exclusive weather content. Get weather impact 24/7 only on 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
The food scene in Tampa Bay is hot with new eateries opening all the time. We take you into the kitchen to talk food and show you the best of what the Bay has to offer. Watch Great Day Dining Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on Great Day Live.
Okay, so an update to a story we've been showing you all week long of these piles and piles of cold stunned iguanas all week long, falling from the trees.
In some cases turned into a blanket.
Blankets, whatever it takes. All right, now we just got an update on the number of iguanas collected during our cold snap. Florida Fish and Wildlife says nearly, brace yourself, 5,200 iguanas were turned into their offices to be relocated to,
heaven.
Yes.
Yeah, iguana heaven. Iguana heaven.
Hey, by the way, keep in mind that collection was allowed under a temporary executive order, but has since expired. FWC says if you see they're invasive. So the invasive species, you can humanely kill them, as they say, or call a wildlife operator to come collect them.
There was a story trending yesterday that there's a place in South Florida where they're making iguana pizza.
Yes, I saw that.
Right. I mean, it
little...
probably tastes like gator.
Very
because
Florida.
they're like
Yeah,
very similar in anatomy to a gator,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Gator nuggets, not bad.
They are.
Yeah,
Tastes
that's true. Iguana pizza, I'm going to pass.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pass
for
on
me.
that. Every, person from up north, like all our New Yorkers who are like, Florida doesn't have good pizza, is probably like, that just made it even worse.
People are offended enough about putting pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. They're going to be really upset about an iguana, I think.
Yeah.
I am a fan of pineapple on pizza.
I am too.
Right now. So,
you and me,
controversial.
yes, you and me both. I like it.
I'm keeping my high fives to myself.
More for us.
That's right. More pineapple from Caitlin and I. All right, let's talk about the rain. I don't know how we got there, but let's talk about the rain this morning. Weather impact iguanas to pineapple on pizza. It's just what you get when you wake up with us. Let's talk about satellite and radar, our weather impact alert, because we have a cold front moving in, and that is bringing a little bit of a mess for the morning commute. Some good news, though. We'll start with that. We are starting to dry out. So from Tampa through Pinellas County, all the way up the Nature Coast, up the 75 corridor, you're done with the rain for today. But do know the roads are still going to be slick, so give yourself some extra time regardless. Where we're seeing most of the rain is now in eastern Hillsborough County, so Brandon and Fishhawk, still some light rain. All throughout Polk County, starting to get a little drier in Lakeland, Haines City, Lake Wales, frost-proof. You're dealing with some light to steady rain this morning. Where the heaviest rain has been south of I-4, all throughout Manatee County, but finally starting to dry out in Bradenton. It looks like we still have some light rain along 75 through Manatee and Sarasota County, but the heaviest rain now moving into parts of Hardy County and eastern Manatee and Sarasota County, and ultimately going to move into Hardy and Highlands here shortly. Here's a look at the timing. 6:48 in Wauchula, 6:54 in Zolfo Springs. It looks like 7:04 in Northport, 7:12, potentially some of that rain through frostproof. I put a timer on this kind of pocket of heavier rain, and then along the entire line here, Lake Wales 6:50. It looks like Avon Park heads up in Highlands County 7:13, Sebring at 7:27, Cleveland at 7:29. Just in case you're about to head out the door in the next half hour to hour, that's when you can expect some of that light to steady rain. We have already picked up just over the last 4 hours about 1/4 of an inch of rain throughout Hillsborough and Pinellas. Look down in Manatee County. Some of that heavy rain already dropping over an inch of rain, much needed. And we do have more on the way, especially south of I-4. We'll take you through the rest of the timing of this front. Around 8 o'clock, we are looking throughout eastern Polk County, Highlands, Hardy County. Temperatures are also dropping. So if you're heading out the door at 8, right now we're in the upper 50s. We're dropping into the low 50s, and that breeze is starting to pick up. By 10 o'clock, most of us are dry, just a few trailing showers, mainly in eastern Polk and into Highlands County. And we'll hold on to mostly cloudy skies at this point as well. Through the afternoon, temperatures are holding in the low to mid 50s. Sun is coming out, but wind is picking up. We're looking at gusts today between about 25 to 30 miles per hour, and we'll take you through that here, because once the rain goes away, our focus then goes to the wind and cold. By around 8 o'clock, we're looking at gusts between about 15 to 20, but widespread gusts, as I mentioned, 25 to 30 for that evening commute. If you drive over our Bay Area bridges for that ride home, both hands on the steering wheel today. Just want to give you that heads up. The breeze will relax overnight, but it'll still be elevated enough to give us a little bit of a wind chill tomorrow morning, and we won't need it because it's going to be a cold start. 40s along the coast, 30s inland. It looks like we could get close to freezing along the Nature Coast. In fact, there is a freeze warning for inland Citrus County tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, a cool day, tons of sunshine though, with highs near 60. And over the weekend, we'll be chilly in the morning, 40s to 50s, highs in the 60s Saturday, beautiful day. Even nicer on Sunday with highs back near 70. And we'll stay in the 70s through just about all of next week. There's that nice long stretch of warmer weather for us that I know a lot of us are excited for. Small craft advisory will go into effect within the next hour or so. That goes through tomorrow morning. Rough on the bay waters, seas 4 to 8 feet today. 7 days shows the dropping temperatures and the rain today, warming up through the weekend, and we'll stay in the low to mid 70s through next week. All right, now it's time for a check of the roads. Sarah Rosario tracking a traffic impact alert for you.
Okay. All right, yeah, let's look at all the traffic that we got going on here as you're going to be getting across our Tampa Bay area. A lot of it, and all these roads are wet right now. So from US 19 and Park Boulevard, you can see this. Also, East Bay Drive, you can see how wet these conditions are through portions of Pinellas County. So give yourself some extra time. We're seeing more of the same all across the Tampa Bay area. I-275 as you're approaching I-4 looks very similar, except we got a lot more people tapping on their brakes through this area of Tampa Bay. So prepare for that as well. What you need to do is use those windshield wipers, all standard stuff when it rains outside, and increase your following distance. Slow down. Thankfully, we were seeing some clearing earlier because of a crash that was just north of here off of I-75, but now it appears we're seeing a lot more delays here. 75 southbound near University Parkway. This is mile marker 213. Heads up for Sarasota County drivers. We've got some slow moving speeds through this area. Bay Area bridges are up to speed and delay free so far.
Give yourself some extra time this morning. We have wet roadways out there, and this front now sinking south of I-4, impacting Manatee, Sarasota, Hardy, Highlands, and Polk County, drying out for Tampa and areas north. We'll hold on to the chance for at least a few showers through about 9 or 10 o'clock south of I-4, and then temperatures drop. It'll be breezy, a chilly and breezy day. Make sure to have the jackets with you today. Waking up cold tomorrow morning, but warming up through the weekend. We'll sit in the 70s all the way through midweek next week.
All right, and looking at traffic this morning, we are still under a traffic impact alert for our drivers headed through the area. The red you see on your screen here is what you're going to be seeing a lot of, especially for drivers headed along portions of I-4 this morning. 275 slow moving as well as you're going to be getting through that area, so prepare for that and give yourself some extra time. I-75 north of I-4, a lot of congestion still after an earlier crash that we've been keeping our eyes on, and so we're looking at our Bay Area bridges. Good news here is that there are no delays across our Tampa Bay Area bridges. Courtney Campbell Causeway, Howard Franklin, Gandy Bridge, all up to speed and delay free so far, in addition to those wet conditions on our roadways.
All right, thank you, Sarah. This morning, officials will show off the final design for Tampa International's first new airside in nearly 20 years. 10 Tampa Bay News reporter Nick Valturo is at TPA. Nick, thank you. The news is not over. In 2 minutes, 10 Tampa Bay News continues live on the 10 Tampa Bay News app. At 7, driverless cars are coming to Tampa, but are they safe? We'll tell you what the CEOs behind the technology are telling lawmakers as new regulations are being considered.
And at 8, the Florida State Fair kicks off in just hours. We're going to preview the rides and treats in store for you and who gets in free today.
All right, at 8:30, trucking companies involved in deadly crashes are changing names overnight and still doing business. 10 Investigates hits the road to show you how a lack of oversight is causing blind spots and putting you at risk.
Our news continues on our 10 Tampa Bay News app, live to 9 a.m. and on 10tampabaynews.com. We'll see you there.
Continue with us on 10 Tampa Bay Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. Watch 10 Tampa Bay News at 11 and stream on 10 Tampa Bay Plus.